Well, bit of both.
Well,
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new YEV, the Balanced EV podcast. And it's me, Tim Aylen, and Kevin Booker tonight. And we're going to be talking about the EVs that go over 400 miles, hype or reality, and everything in between. So where should we start this, Kev? You know, there's not that many electric cars that go over 400 miles. And I think it's key to maybe focus on the WLTP versus reality. And that's why I'm glad I've got you on, Kev, because you put things into reality and sometimes over WLTP, don't you?
I was going to say, do you want my reality or a normal driver reality?
Well, we can bring my reality in. It's probably quite a bit off WLTP, but
so
yeah.
You're saying you wouldn't do 581 miles in a Polestar 3 then?
Well, I mean, if someone lent me one, I would give it a go. I think whether I'd need a co-pilot, I probably would. I'm not sure who I'd choose. Probably you. And I'll just
just navigate, basically, is what you're saying.
Have a snooze. So yeah, there's not that many over 400 miles, but it is. They are becoming more, more available, aren't they? Which I think is a great thing. But I think after we've talked about the ones that are available, is actually talking about, do we actually need 400 miles worth of range plus? I know I'm absolutely fine with my Model 3s, and they don't get anywhere near that because they're a lot older and battery degradation and all these wonderful things, which people might already know. What do you see as being the kind of top contenders here, sort of over 400 miles?
Well, I mean, one of the ones which, for doing the sort of power, that range with that, I'm going to hate to say this, is the newly revised Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive long range has a WLTP of 466 miles.
Wow.
So that's got the new battery pack in it. So as Tesla don't amount the size of their battery packs anymore, which is weird because they always used to, on the S's, it used to be like a 90 and 100, but now they don't really say. I mean, I've been doing some maths on the Model Y I'm in, which has the same pack, and I think it's around about the 82 kilowatt hour usable now. So, yeah. I mean, that's not a massive pack to be doing that sort of range. And as we've said before, it's, sometimes it's better to do more with less. Imagine the original Wind Knife, the Ioniq, with that size pack in, how far it would go.
Yeah, but it's getting that balance, isn't it, though? Yeah. Getting that balance of size of battery and, the range, because you start going bigger on the battery, obviously you've got weight there. So I think what Tesla have done compared to, let's say, the Chinese cars out there, let's compare it to the MG M5, for example, against the Tesla Model 3. They put a much bigger battery, but I think they've gone too far. And Tesla, like I was going to say, they're focusing more on efficiency, making things lighter. So I think it's all about getting that balance, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing is, what we can't keep doing is bigger and bigger battery packs. I mean, look, if you look at some of the American stuff, which has similar ranges, your Hummers, your big Cadillac, they've got over 200 kilowatt
hour battery in the Hummer, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, what makes it? Could you imagine charging that on an American equivalent of a 3-pin when they're 110 volts? It's literally, you'd be there a week. So, but even charging at home, you think, Octopus a few of them have now shortened their intelligent hours. Those bigger packs, you're taking more days to fully charge them. And I think, it's better to have a smaller pack and go further with it. So that's, it's all very well with a 200 kilowatt hour pack and 400 miles range. But if you've got a 6-hour window to charge or a 5-hour window to charge, you're not getting much range back in it in that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, I think we have covered it before. So it's not just a question of the weight of the size of the battery, but it's actually charging it cheaply. And I did see actually something in the news. I think Jordan, EV guy, was saying that, the press are putting out negative stuff around Octopus's focus on 6 hours charging. Not just, Octopus are very, very good at what they do. Amazing what they're doing in the electricity market and renewables, etc. So if this is a common trend, if this happens to more like Eon that do 12 till 7, if that is going to reduce down, then actually having a smaller battery, there's got to be a massive benefit to that, to having a smaller battery that can go further. So I've always been one to focus on the efficiency, and you are, capped at efficiency, Kev. Yeah. So so the Model Y, what sort of efficiency have you been getting out of that? So just to clarify, it's 4-wheel drive, long range, right?
It's the all-wheel drive on the 20-inch wheels. No, the bigger wheels. I think they're 19s. They look nice, but they do affect the ride and the efficiency. Actually, I think it might be the 20s. The other thing is it's got the new pack in it, but genuinely I'm getting, we've had not great weather to test it, but I mean, on my eco run, I was getting 5.1 miles per kilowatt hour this time of year. So that was on my eco route. But in general driving, it's not dropped below 4 miles per kilowatt hour, which
4.25.
Oh, well, 4.12 on the phone. Because I may have done 1,000 miles on it this week.
Wow.
I'm not saying that means I really like it or anything, Tim. Not just but I have done a lot of driving in it, and it genuinely, when you think how much surface water we've had, and it's on Michelin Pilot Sport tires, you're talking. I've been very impressed. My Ioniq 5 gets 3.5 in the same conditions, and that's a rear-wheel drive one. So in the interest of balance, it is performing better.
So just to highlight a couple of the comments. So Travel Daydreams, thanks for commenting. You said it's disappointing the manufacturers are delivering longer ranges by squeezing bigger and bigger batteries into the chassis instead of delivering increased efficiency. Absolutely. And Lewis, thanks for commenting, mate. Compare the Tesla models versus the Chinese competitors like BYD, XPeng, MGIM. Tesla have smaller batteries, lighter weight, but bigger ranges. Absolutely. Funnily enough, Travel Daydreams just mentioned the new iX3, 108 kilowatt hours. Say, funnily enough, it's bang on the thumbnail. And this is why I thought it was important to put that up there, because that is a brand new car that has got some pretty astonishing range.
Yeah, I mean the Neue, this is the part of the first of the Neue class range. And that's allegedly, not tested it, 500 with that pack. So they've put a big battery in it, but they've done a lot with that big battery. 500 miles range, and it's got some stupidly quick charging. So,
I wonder what
I'd love to drive one of those.
I wonder what the chemistry is on the BMW iX3. It'd be really interesting to see. But it is a big old pack though. 108 kilowatt hours. I'm guessing that's total.
But then you think that most of the Polestars that do the 400-mile range have got those size packs. They've all got more than 100 kilowatt hours usable in them.
Yeah. I mean, battery chemistry is another subject, and we might touch on that a little bit. I just want to focus on the cars primarily to begin with. But as just to summarize the battery chemistry, as battery chemistry gets more updates, then we're only going to see smaller batteries and more powerful density ultimately. It is an NMC battery in the BMW. So yeah, it'd be nice to see some more LFP batteries from a multiple cycles point of view and longevity. KC, where have you gone? You did put people have put in quite a few. There we go. So commuter branch line. Kev is definitely Captain Lightfoot. How on earth does he do it? Not sponsored by Lightfoot. Just haste to add. The only advantage I can see with 400-mile pack is that more of the long distance mileage is 7p per kilowatt hour. Absolutely, Malcolm. Completely agree.
Well, I was doing some maths just looking at the new Model 3 long range rear wheel drive, and I think whereas shows how much it's changed over a decade. So when I started this EV journey, it was a Renault Zoe, and we used to do Swansea to Leicester and charge 3 times. Now we can do Swansea to Leicester in the Kona and charge once when we're up there and come back. Potentially the Model 3 long range will charge here, go all the way to Leicester and all the way back, and still have range to drive round up there because it's 466. I think in the summer, I potentially could get 500 out of one of those.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that, Kev. Lewis has mentioned about the IOG changes. I think maybe if we cover that next week, actually, let's just focus on the mileage today. But I think that's right that we should talk about it next week. Just go through the comments again. Bonjour, you two. You got 2 streams running again. Yes, we've decided to go for portrait and landscape because I think we got some positive feedback on to have them both. So why not? Kev really is Captain Lightfoot. Yeah, we've done that one. And new iX3 range. Now that impressive. Not that impressive. They pulled a Chinese EV move, e.g. bigger battery in a smaller car. Well, it's kind of...
It's not that small a car, the iX3, though. Because
No.
actually, I was talking to Alex yesterday because we went out in the Model Y. And we were looking at the lengths of cars inside, because we parked in a car park in Swansea, which is a 1970s car park. Right. And as we were driving in, it was like, look at all these cars, how many of the noses are sticking out of the bays. And we looked at the size of the Model Y. It's the same length as a Granada used to be.
No way.
And it's not that you wouldn't, the Y is not the big car.
No.
So it's like everything's got bigger. So the iX3 is probably the size of like quite a big car from 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, the MG IM5 is longer than the Model 3, isn't it? It's between a Model S and a Model 3. So that's a longish car. I suppose just to fit the extra batteries in, like, was it Lewis was mentioning earlier on, shoehorning them in. So, okay. We
feel long, though, with the four-wheel steering, to be fair.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I must admit, nice tech to have on there. So we've mentioned the Tesla Model Y, which goes over 400 miles, long range rear-wheel drive.
466.
Yeah, and the three now with a bigger battery, sort of.
So the Model 3 is the one that does 466. Model Y with weirdly, they've only put the bigger battery at the moment in the all-wheel drive one. So on the right wheels, it does 390. But I would imagine the rear-wheel drive one, if that battery comes to it, it's going to be over the 400 miles, isn't it? The other news is they've launched the budget one in the UK. You can now order the one with the covered roof, which is, I know you're a big fan of Teslas. I really don't get how it's a cost saving putting a headliner over a glass roof that's already there.
Well, I was thinking about this, right? And the fact that it's only $3-4 grand cheaper than the next one up, something like that. Maybe a bit more. It just most people are getting them on PCP or lease deals, what have you, and the residuals are so much stronger. It just makes the other ones just look better value, unless you've actually got a total amount to pay on a car, which generally speaking people don't. And if they do, they'd probably buy a nearly new one, like to get better value. So yeah, I think I'm not a massive fan of the value one. So yeah, I'll be interested to see when the 3 comes out as well, and see how popular it is. Now they've actually started putting indicator stalks on. I think that will really help Tesla, because I think that put a lot of people off. I think they lost thousands of sales doing that.
There's some offers. Apparently you can get the stalkless one. There's some offers and some availability of the ones without the stalk, but the bigger battery with a couple of months of free supercharging.
Ooh, okay.
To get rid of inventory. So there's some deals apparently on if you can live without the indicator stalks.
Well, to be honest, I'd just buy the enhanced indicators and drive mode anyway. So I'd probably just go for that, actually, if there's more of an incentive. We've got quite a few comments in here. Let's whack some of these in. So Dean, for me, 100 kilowatt hour plus is great for people who don't have charging available at home, or sales reps who do 400 plus mile daily. Me personally, 50 to 60 kilowatt hour is plenty charging home. No, it's a really good point, that. Roland's put 2 streams, only see half the comments. That's a shame. Which one's getting all the comments then? Oh, right. Yeah, of course. That's a good point, actually. Didn't think of that. 2026 Model Y bigger than an iX3 with only 100 kilowatt hour battery, 95 kilowatt hour usable, already rated at 373 watt WLTP miles. Do the math. Yes, indeed. 2026 Model Y equals 2026 Model X. Yeah.
So he meant Model X, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he meant that. I've just got something random.
Sorry, right, yeah, he definitely meant.
Oh, hang on. I've lost my screen. A pop-up came up and completely messed with me. Hang on a second. We're back in the room. Right. So where do we get to? New cheap Model 3 is very close to the original Model 3 on features. Really? Yeah, interesting. Oh, I suppose. Yeah, but the Model 3 of old has added the features moving on. What's it missing then, Mark? That'd be an interesting one to know, because I'll be missing.
because it's not the premium trim, is it, in the standard one? Because it's
No.
Model Y premium, Model 3 premium long range rear wheel drive. Not a mouthful at all. But so you think that actually, I've just realized my camera's steaming up, so it looks like I've got some weird effect on the lens.
You're in a sauna, mate. You're in a sauna. Yeah, there's. It seems like we're talking a lot about Teslas, Kev. What's going on?
I know. I've noticed Casey's comment. I will not confirm or deny that.
He has not. Yeah, absolutely. We best move on from Tesla. Although, I'm quite happy to talk about Teslas all day, as you know.
But I mean, if you want to look at other brands, you've got 400 miles Polestar.
Yeah,
2 just scrapes in. It's like 401 as long as you've got the right wheels on the long range. And that's a weird thing with Polestar, isn't it? Because they revised it and it became a rear wheel drive, whereas the original was a front wheel drive. And it became more efficient in rear wheel drive. I think it's a different motor, but it's like that doesn't seem, logical. It's that. But I mean, that drives fine. All the rear wheel drive Polestars just get about 400 miles, but then some of those have big packs, 110 kilowatt hours, and I think it was almost 120 kilowatt. Yeah, 115 kilowatt hours is the one we did the record in. So it's a big pack.
Wow.
But it's a big wide car, so it's got a lot of space for a pack.
Yeah, I do see a lot of the new Polestar SUV style with the no rear back. Is that the 4, right?
That's the 4 with the electronic.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few of those around, to be fair. Although, yeah, I don't see as many Polestars as I thought I would after all the shenanigans with Tesla and all the,
I did see some facts on it. They sold 1,923 Polestars this year. This year, which is double what they sold last year.
Doesn't sound very many.
Well, I suppose it's not really, but they are changing to the dealership model now, aren't they? Because if you notice, remember, all the Polestars have the same number plates. They start with OV or OY because they were all registered in the one place.
Yeah. So Polestar's another place to go. I did notice, isn't the Vauxhall Grandland? Not that I can't believe I'm the first person. Well, me, not you, or obviously Alex.
Yeah. Oh, yes. New bigger battery Grandland will do over 400.
Why did I even mention the Vauxhall? But yeah, that's quite interesting to see.
The S7 will do the same as well because it's the same battery. I believe 5008 is basically all the cars that are the same platform as the Grandland, which have the same battery. I think it's 97 kilowatt hours. So big old pack in them.
Yeah. No, it's big. I think I'm trying to think, other than, let's not mention Teslas anymore, but are there any other cars out there that actually achieve a really strong, maybe not even over 400 for people that are interested, that have a smaller battery, but they can go really far, that isn't the Hyundai Ioniq?
Well, just if you think, if we drop down to, if you start at 300 mile as your target, there's a heck of a lot more cars in that. You've got EV3, you've got EV4, and you've got EV5 as well when that comes out. And there's a lot, Kona punches above its weight for 300 miles. The new, the facelifted one, because someone just messaged a comment there about wheel sizes. I think it's further up. The Kona, I think, is one of the few you can specify an ultimate with the smaller wheels on it.
Yeah, because it does seem
the same range.
There does seem to be. I mean, I'm just going to pick on the Changang for a minute because I'm pretty sure that just comes in the same spec, whatever. And I kind of understand that, generally speaking, manufacturers will do that to try and keep costs down because they have to worry about different wheel changes and all the rest of it. It's quite important because size of wheels do matter, not just in terms of the range, but also on the comfort as well. So the people that go, and performance, you could argue as well from an acceleration point of view. So Travel Daydreams put how many manufacturers offer the option to downgrade the rim size. Everything comes on ludicrously large wheels at the moment. When did 19-inch become considerably regular small? Well, I've got 19s on the Tesla and I don't think that they're particularly small.
Well, you think that back in 2016, when they had the stupidly efficient diesels from Honda and stuff like that, That was on 16-inch wheels as standard.
Yeah.
And that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. I remember they used to do it on the Audi A4. They used to do a specific low emission one with a specific engine, and it had to have the smaller wheels. Even in the S-line trim, you know, we're going quite a few years. We're probably going 10 years back now. So yeah, I think maybe manufacturers could offer that.
Well, this will be a surprise for you. So when I had my first Leon FR back in 2006, that was on 17-inch wheels on an FR, and you could pay to upgrade to the 18s.
Yeah, but 17s, I remember when 17s were massive. You know, I remember getting my 15-inch wheels for my VW Polo thinking I was, you know, the bee's knees. But 17s, you know, they were ginormous. They probably weighed a ton because they weren't really, you know, the old school alloys, lots of weight, cast alloy, whatever it is. Dean's just put, it's great to see manufacturers concentrating on efficiency as well as big battery. Remember when the fat Audi e-tron was released with a big battery? Terrible efficiency. Lucky to get 2 miles per kilowatt hour. That was the first electric car I drove, was the e-tron.
Yeah, weirdly, the Q8, the newer one, the Q8 e-tron, is better. So I don't know what they did with the other one.
Not much better. It's still a bit of a breeze block.
Yeah. Well, a little bit better. I think you get.
Yeah, it is a little bit better. Yeah, I think they did actually increase the battery size as well. That's probably why. Can Kev settle an argument as to whether it is more efficient to drive with high or low levels of regen? I think I know the answer to this.
So it depends on how good a driver you are. For a novice driver, you can do that. But if you want to really kind of eke the range out, you're better off doing the regen on the pedal yourself rather than letting the car do it, because you can see the road ahead. The car can't really see that. So you can be more nuanced and be at the right speed to go through like traffic lights and things like that. Whereas if you're on one pedal, you kind of like that all the time with your foot up and down, and you fight the regen, that's the one thing I don't like about the Teslas. You can't switch the regen off. And it takes, you can't in the service mode anymore.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Well, funnily enough, just going back to the regen thing. So I was driving back from Southampton last week or the week before, and I put regen on low, and I put it into chill mode, because apparently, I'd love to know in the comments if this, you know, if someone can back me up on this, but I heard that if you put it into chill mode, it doesn't heat the battery up so much, so it doesn't use as much energy, but it needs to heat up the battery when it's in normal or performance mode. If you're at performance or sport, it heats up the battery to be able to give you that performance. But if you put it in chill, it keeps the battery not as warm, so actually you improve your efficiency. But Kev, I've got special options on mine because of the Engine X Boost 50, so I can go from 0 regen up to 100, and normal regen on the Tesla, according to my Engine X app, is 80. So I can actually increase the regen, or I can put it to 0. It feels just so weird driving with no regen in the Tesla. Really odd.
Yeah, because I can't. I set it to low, and it still wasn't low enough in my mind. I reckon I could have squeezed more range out of it if it was on less auto regen.
Maybe I need to reach out to Engine X, and they can send you a free thingy, and you can play around with the regen and give you boost 50. And
how's that work with warranty though? I mean, I know that's not an issue for you, Tim, because you've got I think you're well past the warranty.
We can talk about that offline, Kev. All right. So Casey, you've just popped in there. 97 kilowatt hours usable, but I've been told in real life efficiency is pants on the E5008 odd for Stellantis.
I found the Grandland really reasonable. And if it's the same platform, yeah, the old Stellantis of old, the old motors were awful, but you know, I was getting 300 miles out of the 73 kilowatt hour one. So I would have thought the 97 would be easily a 400 mile one. And it's the same. I mean, it's not that much more brick shit, unless there is a bit more extra weight in the 5008 a 7-seater.
It doesn't surprise me that you're, supporting the Vauxhall vehicles again here. But I know that you did do some testing on the e-Corsa, the new one, and the efficiency was pretty stellar. Lewis Standy's just put in, I need assistance choosing a salary sacrifice car. Currently have original Kona. Want more boot space, but not huge. Otherwise, Tesla Model 3 real drive, 60 kilowatt hour. Well, apparently the lead time on Teslas are really good. The IM5 is nice, but you know,
I mean, it depends, because if you really need the range, this 100 kilowatt hour battery is going to give you more range than a 60. You know, there's no denying that. Even no matter how efficient 60 is in the Tesla, you are the 100. It's genuinely, it's not hard to get 400 miles out of the IM5, as long as you're not got the performance one.
But charging it for 6 hours or 7 hours, are you actually going to be able to charge it for 7 pence per kilowatt hour?
Yeah, it depends on what you want to do, but you're still at home charging, still going to be cheaper. I mean, that's the one thing I will say about charging away from home. I've never experienced the supercharging network until this week.
Have you not?
No, and it pains me to say this to you, Tim. It is quite easy just plugging in, and it does it for you.
Sorry, hang on. Let me just turn up my speaker. What was that?
It is quite easy, the supercharging network. Just plug it in and go in. I mean, it's not complicated with a card either, to be fair. But it was really raining, and all I did was run in, stick the thing in the. Weirdly, you have to knock the charging port to open it, don't you?
Not who's there?
And then it opens. That is a thing, then, is it? Yeah,
you
just stuck it in, and then just got in the car and thought, I'm not getting wet anymore.
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, you didn't mention the price. You didn't mention the speed. What did you think?
It topped out at 250. I've had quicker charge. The IM is definitely quicker at charging, but I was only there for half hour on the Model 3, so it's half hour versus 16 minutes. So
yeah, it's quite a long time at a charger. I don't often stay there that long, to be fair, but yeah, well, it seems like we keep going on this subject, Kev. It's an interesting one, isn't it? As cell prices get cheaper, manufacturers go bigger packs, basically, which is lazy. It's a very good point, Mark. Very good point indeed. Until consumer demand or regulations make that a change, and people are making the decision for going for the smaller battery for these sort of things that we're highlighting, these factors.
And the other thing, efficiency helps, because you've got to remember that it's gross vehicle weight is an issue. The bigger the pack, the heavier it is. America is not an issue. You can put a 250 kilowatt hour pack in because you can drive things like the Cybertruck on your normal licenses. Here, you'd hit the weight limit.
And will they bring that out? Now, Kev made a really good point on pay per mile the other week and the week before, the fact that pay per mile does not differentiate between size and weight of vehicle or even cost. So actually, if they maybe tweak that to make it more fair, which was my point, don't mind these taxes as long as they're fair and reasonable, you're getting value for money. So if they start bringing that in, then yeah, again, lighter cars, smaller battery with still really strong efficiency are going to just win, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Lucid Air claims to be efficient, but it's not in the UK. No, absolutely. They've got some pretty
big car as well.
Very big. The i3 only had 19s and 20s fitted. They look like cartwheels being so thin. Yeah, they're very thin.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird one with the i3, wasn't it? Because like you think of 19s and 20-inch wheels on our cars, and they're quite fat. But the i3, I don't know, they were narrow, so that probably helped with efficiency because they were like bike tires.
No, absolutely. And funnily enough, Commuter Branch Line's got it in there. And I'm going to give him his moment. There are plenty of pole dancers out there. If you know where to look, wink. Sorry,
you got to use your sound box board or whatever.
Yeah, the soundboard had to be used for that. Well done. Right, wait. Oh God, I've lost myself now.
Yeah, I know they're coming in thick and fast.
I know it's good. It's good. Keep them coming. KC Talks EV. I think the C10 with 20-inch wheels will do much better range than an 18s, but the arch side is way too big. Tires would be significantly cheaper too, as beyond 17s.
Thinking of that, I remember a car that used to really look underwheeled until they've changed it. Remember the MG ZS? That used to look really underwheeled, didn't it? The wheels didn't suit. And they weren't particularly small wheels, but I always thought that the MG ZS looked underwheeled for the size and bodywork of the car.
Well, I think sometimes it's not just about the alloy size, but it's also the tyre size. Because sometimes if a tyre will make it up, it doesn't look so bad. For some reason, I had a Suzuki Ignis in my head when you were talking about undersized, but yeah, maybe I've flashed back.
I wonder if Casey enjoyed the ADAS on the C10. Reading some of the reviews of it, it's a tad intrusive.
Well, Casey can, I'm sure, let us know. Have Stellantis sorted out onboard charger failure yet? Not sure. Can't comment on that. The new Model Y standard has 18-inch rims in the States, but 19s in the UK. That is interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Ben.
Yeah, but it's a thing. I've talked to loads of press offices from different brands. Apparently, small wheels don't sell in the UK.
No.
People don't like. Remember the other one that didn't come with it, which would be a nearly 400-mile range car when it gets the bigger battery, would be the Ioniq 6. But it comes on massive 20-inch wheels in the UK. Aylen, same steering wheel side and everything else, to us gets the smaller. I believe it's the 18-inch wheels. And it gives you 50 miles more range.
It's our own fault. You've got to have the big wheels. Lewis Standing or new cheap Model Y 412 or IM6 395 and BYD Leon Sea Lion 7 427.
I've driven the Sea Lion 7. It's nice inside, but I felt it felt quite bulky and didn't really cut through the air much. We did struggle to get WLTP on that. On the London to Brighton, when we were driving back at motorway speeds.
Yeah. What was the long-range rear-wheel drive Model 3, Lewis? Because I don't think I'd want to go for the cheap Model Y if that's the standard one. The IM6 is nice, but again, it's factoring in the charging infrastructure and all those other wonderful things when it comes to the big T. Commuter branch line, 17-inch wheels on the Hyundai Kona Ultimate EV are indeed a no-cost option. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a very fleet spec one, and in the summer that's a 350-mile plus car with a 65 kilowatt-hour pack. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. Weirdly, in some respects, it's better than the EV3 because it goes decent range without the bigger pack. Because I think almost when I drove the EV3, it's good. It goes a long way, but I feel that almost the bigger pack is reducing the range. So, because it's got a much heavier pack in it.
Lewis has just mentioned that the two streams that they don't always share the live chat. I'll have to look at that. So thanks for highlighting that. I'm trying to share all the comments so I can see it on mine, which is up here, if people can see that, on the portrait style. Civ Mode, thanks for commenting. I've not seen your comment before, so thanks for joining in. During the summer, I was very close to 400-mile charge on my Kia EV3. Nice. That's only a 81 kilowatt-hour battery. Very, very economical car.
I've actually been pricing cars up today for other cars, and I looked at EV3 and EV4, and there's £1,000 difference between them. I think I prefer the shape of the EV4. I really like the fastback one, but that's a lot more expensive. But the standard hatch there's about 1,000 difference in them between EV3 and 4, which I don't know how they're aiming that.
No, it does seem like they might have maybe a few too many models there.
Yeah, too much overlap.
I can't read that out. That would just be true, but can't say that.
The Audi A6 e-tron Avant is a very nice car. It's a very expensive car, but
that's an over 400-mile car, isn't it? 400-mile range car, the new A6.
Yeah, 400. Yeah, because with the right wheels on it and stuff. There's two battery sizes as well, but then again, it's a 90-odd kilowatt-hour pack. 90 seems to be about, if you want a 400-mile car, that seems to be the pack size. There's no one with like a 60 kilowatt-hour pack that's doing 400 miles yet, but there probably should be. It'd be interesting to see if with battery technology, if you could ram 60 kilowatt hours into the original Ioniq, would it do that? Because I got 250 miles out of it on the 36 pack, so I reckon it could do 400 miles. But someone needs to modify one to get as much battery in it based on the technology. Do like the Honda Insight. Just get rid of the back seats, put another 38 kilowatt pack on it, 400-mile range car.
Well, I think there are cars, EVs, with smaller batteries that can do that mileage, but they look a bit special. The EQXX, I'm not sure what the battery size is for that. And
that was a prototype, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's another one. There's EQA. the new one. That's a 400-mile
Yes.
range car.
I was quite amazed at that. Yeah, that is pretty impressive.
And I think that's not a massive pack either. I think that might be an 80-something pack. I don't think it's huge, is it?
I don't know, but I tell you what, based on and I've got a CarWow. I was going to say CowWow. CarWow board here saying about percentage of claimed achieved mileage that we'll run through in a minute. But the Mercedes tend to be quite accurate with their ranges. BMW not so much. Tesla. So yeah, again, it all depends on the driver and making sure the tests are kosher, of course. SIF mode, I was around 4.7, 4.9 in summer. I was around 4.1 today. What car was that in? I can't remember.
It was EV3, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised that the all-wheel drive Model Y is doing about that.
I'm not surprised, mate. Lewis Standing, I went to test drive the EV4 and EV6 the other day, decided the EV3 was best. Oh, wow. Interesting.
Another interesting fact about EV4, I believe the fastback is slightly longer than the EV6, which is like, there seems to be lots of overlap with their models.
It's just, why do it? I think it's just a waste, isn't it? I hasten to add, I was getting 300 miles on a motorway run. Today I did Birmingham to London. I got 260 roughly. If my math's correct, it's only 120 miles odd drive. And travel day dreams. Not seen this before. Loving the picture there. Plug and charge will become available to more vehicles as CPOs mature. Yeah, I mean, you keep hearing that. But I think it's still going to take a while, to be honest.
Well, GridServe were trialing it, but I don't know what happened with that. They seem to have just gone away from it now. I mean, from an IT point of view, I think it's open to spoofing because a lot of the simple plug-in and charge, all it does is take the MAC address of the car.
Which changes was it every day on a Volkswagen?
No. So it hasn't got a fixed MAC address on that?
I don't think so, no.
So they might have done that as a security thing, but generally a lot of MAC addresses stay the same. And it's like, but what's to stop someone putting the MAC address in front of something? People will find workarounds for everything. So I think that may be why the CPOs are reluctant until there's a more foolproof thing. Because I think the Tesla does a lot more communication, doesn't it, between it for plug-in and charge, I think.
How do you do, when you haven't got a Tesla, I don't know about these things, and you plug into a Tesla charger with a non-Tesla, is that plug and charge just off the
app?
You
have to use the app, or if it's a V4, they do have a contactless card reader on them, don't they? But they don't work that well, the contactless card readers I've found, because I got stuck on one because it activated my card and then I couldn't stop it. And I couldn't, because obviously the Tesla has the option to stop charge in the car, but obviously not all cars have that. So I ended up having to cheat on mine and tell it to only charge to a percentage lower than the car was at. So the car stopped and released the charger.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's the emergency pull cord, which I'd rather not do if I don't have to.
No. Well, this is why, and I think it was Neil from Power, he said, well, having a Tesla is not like having an EV, is it? Which I think is quite amusing. Yes, EV3 certainly is the way to go as an owner for almost a year now. Excellent. Lewis is saying thanks, no worries. Paper mile has nothing to do with the roads. It's purely tax revenue into the exchequer. Is it really? Casey talks, Mark 1, ZS EV, ADAS had absolutely nothing on the insanity of the C10. God awful. They mentioned it on the review. There is software update to fix it and models are being delivered. Have a front. What is the C10? Sorry.
The Leap motor.
Oh, the big SUV thing.
Yeah, the big SUV. And it was okay when I drove it, but I preferred the little T0 Flea. The cheapest car you can buy. And it was an honest little EV, but city driving and stuff, fitted in parking bays, because now every car is massive, the size of Granada, and the 70s parking bays in some car parks were not designed for those.
I wouldn't feel a bit like the Dacia Spring and that car. I mean, fair enough, city driving only, but anywhere else, I just wouldn't feel safe in it.
I think the T03's got a lot.
TVR owner.
Yeah, I was going to say you're going to be in a car made of fiberglass, and
one day,
yeah. When you retire, is it Tim?
Sorry, say again.
Retirement project.
I was a lot younger when I started that project. Let's put it that way. My Ioniq 38 is out of warranty. If anybody is wanting a donor card to shove a 60 kilowatt hour pack into it, well, it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. I think it would cost more than it's worth, but you know, I mean, who would enter in those sort of projects? TVR again.
Yeah, I was going to say no one does big like EV conversion projects here, do they?
Yeah, they do. Okay, so let's get back on track now. Thanks everyone for popping in the comments there. I was keen to get everyone's opinion on that, so thanks for joining in. So we've mentioned the Tesla, the Polestar, we've mentioned the Mercedes, we've mentioned the BMW iX3. What else have we got? I mean, the Mercedes EQS, of course.
Yeah, that's it's a bit of a. It doesn't it? Just though, it's not. It's a big old thing.
Yeah. What else have we got? Apparently, the Jeep Compass has got 403 miles, but I'm not even sure if we get that in the UK.
Jeep, that's going to be based on one of the new Stellantis platforms, then, isn't it? That's going to be the 97 kilowatt hour pack, then, isn't it?
we could have said the Tesla Model S, but unfortunately, they don't sell that in Europe anymore. But that was obviously one that did over 400 miles push. Well, according to WLTP, not according to CarWow's EV range test calculator. What about the BMW iX? We haven't mentioned that one, have we?
The iX a 400 mile? I think it's a high 300, isn't it?
Well, I'm just going by Top Gear here. You know, other websites are available, but yeah, that's what they're saying. I mean, it must be a much bigger battery. Yeah. Lexus ES. I don't even think we get that in this country. EQE. I'll tell you what we haven't mentioned. The ID7.
Oh yeah.
Have you driven that?
No, I've not got any Volkswagen contacts to drive any VWs. And I really want to try the ID7 because the estate looks a good, practical workhorse of a car. You know, similar to like the old MG5 was, just a bit more upmarket. I mean, that to me, the ID7 is your sales rep car, isn't it? It's your photocopier, engineers, that type of job where you go out, do stuff. You need a big-ish boot. That's the car for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I look at it and I just think it's dull as ditch water, to be honest. But I know that the VW have ironed out a lot of the issues. But I think, yeah, there's clearly got to be some good deals on that car because I've hardly seen any on the road. But yeah, it's got to be the estate, not the saloon. Bearing in mind, well, I don't know if it's a hatch. Fun enough, maybe someone can clarify that. But they've obviously discontinued the Passat saloon in the UK. I know when I worked for VW Audi Group, Vindus Group, that we struggled to sell the saloons. Even if we bought them cheap off, you know, remarketing and stuff like that, they were a struggle every time. I thought of another one. What about the Volvos? It's Polestar, isn't it? I suppose.
Well, yeah, it's the EX90. That's a big thing. Shares a lot with the Lotus. I don't think that the Lotus might do 400. The big one. Is it the Emira? I always get mixed up. What the name of which one?
Araya or something? Araya? Emira. No, maybe it's the Emira.
The big.
Well, funnily enough, when I looked at the CarWow test leaderboard, the Lotus was actually one of the worst performing against its actual range. I think it was something like 69%. It was so poor. Which is
weird because the Polestar was the Polestar 3 was one of the closest, wasn't it? It went the furthest in their test.
Yeah, Polestar 3.
Polestar, they did their test the same time as we did the record in it, and we sort of heard about their thing and were confident it would go further because I thought CarWow are not renowned for being the gentlest of drivers when they do their range things, do they?
Well, Matt Watson's a bit of a hater on EVs and especially Teslas, isn't he? Even though he bought his mum one and then he started moaning about the door handles. Maybe you should preheat the car. That might help. Polestar 3 got 89% of its range. So claim range was 438 and actual mileage was 390, according to their test. The Mercedes EQE worked out quite well. The Kia EV9 did really well. The Xpeng, oh no, that's not got quite 400 miles. Although the EQS Mercedes got 72% of its claimed 464 miles, that's pretty darn poor. Where's that Lotus gone? I swear it's in it somewhere. Yeah, I think other than that, I think we are struggling to find any more cars over 400. But there it is. Oh my God, it's the Ameya R. 301 claim miles, 193, 64% of its claim mileage. That is bad. That is
Which
really
is
bad.
weird because you'd think it would be. It does share a lot of tech with the Polestar, and I suppose though the Swedish R&D and engineers have had their own tweaks on the Polestar stuff, but
yeah,
you'd think it would be fairly. I mean, unless one's optimized for power and one's optimized for a bit more efficiency.
Yeah, I mean it's a nice looking vehicle, and I think it's good to support British old style brands rather than some other stuff. But yeah, I just don't get it. Unless you're just buying it for the badge, which I think a lot of people do. There is a new iX refresh. They've upped it to 400 miles plus. There we go. KC. He has helped us with the noise there. Merry Christmas, Turbo. Merry Christmas to you, buddy.
I think a lot of the BMW stuff, they're adding the technology they've developed for the Neue class into some of the refreshes, like motor tech and stuff like that, which is good because it means they are thinking about efficiency. But I remember back in the days, the BMW diesels used to be really good stuff. They were all pretty efficient on those. So I think it's about time they started working on their efficiency in their electric cars.
Yeah, and I think they're, as I think we've all already mentioned at the beginning of the chat and a couple of other comments, is the fact that that's what they need to be focusing on, is that increased efficiency and using materials which are lighter, just as strong, and all the rest of it. Actually, so yeah, Porsche Taycan 2025 model, 105 kilowatt-hour battery. I'm guessing that's one of the the bigger, the higher mileage over 400 miles. E-Travel Dreams, do you think Kevin would get 400 plus out of an ID7 WLTP is 382? I've no doubt he would.
If someone will lend me one, I'll prove it in the summer, but I can't get one. I want to borrow one to test it because that is. Sorry, I've been distracted by the cat that walks straight across in front of you.
Sorry. Yeah,
I think it's genuinely a 400-mile range car. I mean, in the summer, it's not going to be too hard to get an extra, not even 20 miles out of it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult, should it? Sorry, just Leela, my cat's just come and say hello. So really need some aerodynamic electric vans. Vans are just so poor for economy. Yeah, I mean, but you've got to think about the payloads on these vehicles as well. But yeah, certainly on motorways and stuff, that would massively help.
Because the Kia did the record, didn't it? It's got the record with a payload, but the payload's only 610 kilos. So it's a biggish van. I'd say it looks more transit custom size van, but it's got the payload of a Kangoo. And it's that's the problem, isn't it?
That's the same payload as the Max's pickup, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's the other thing. It's less payload than the Buzz Cargo. Because I believe the Buzz Cargo is.
So I've got Animal Farm going on over here. I mean, there's a lot going on. It does look Verizon seem to be making quite a lot of waves, but we digress. We can talk about vans another day. So yeah, aerodynamics, absolutely. We should be focusing on aerodynamics. Lewis Standing. So Tesla Model 3 long range 447, short range is standard
range. Short range.
I've said that before. I got collared. Standard range 405. Model Y real drive is 424 pounds. Model Y long range 462. Leaf has just come out on the Fleet website too. I drive past the plant and have friends working on them, but it's 452 pounds and 485. I mean, I want the Leaf to do well, but it's just not going to, is it? Let's be honest.
I don't know. I mean, they put battery cooling right now, so it's. So it's that's a bonus. The annoying thing with the Leaf is the most disappointing bit of it is the battery pack, the rest of it is typical Nissan, pretty much bomb-proof, apart from the battery tech. Someone needs to work out a retrofit cooled battery for it, because surely the technology's moved on massively from the old Leaf now, so surely you could fit some sort of cooled battery in it.
Yeah.
With CCS as well.
If they've just upgraded to CCS, it's like saying I've just upgraded to body-coloured mirrors, Not quite, but new Leaf with 75 kilowatt hour is claiming 386 miles. Ooh, well, that's pretty good for the size of battery, isn't it? I would say.
Yeah, I think, this is the one thing I noticed when I test drove a load of vehicles over the summer. Stuff that used to be quite poor, they've had revisions to the motors. The Volkswagen Group stuff has all had new motors. The Stellantis stuff has all had new motors. And they have started to get more efficient. But I don't know how much efficiency you can gain from a motor, because, they were supposed to be high 90s efficiency on the electric motors anyway. So it must be the rest of the powertrain they've improved.
Yeah.
But there's not the scope like a petrol car, is there, where you've got 40% thermal efficiency. So you've got a 60% you can improve somewhere in theory. And
weight and, I suppose heat pumps, like making it clever in terms of how it utilizes everything in the car. Maybe going for a bit like the, I suppose, Cybertruck, where they got rid of a lot of the 12 volt and they moved it to a different voltage to make it, less wiring and things like that. That's what needs to happen. More of that sort of stuff.
Do both your Model 3s have the octo valve thing, or is that only on the later ones? The weird.
It's only the one where we had to replace it.
Is it?
Yeah.
So yours don't have that then, do they? Or
my old one doesn't, but my wife's one does. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll send you the video. You can see it in the underneath, so to speak. Youssef, I love the fact that you use EV database, because that's my go-to as well. Although it's only just a guide, bearing in mind, everyone's going to be different.
I find they're quite harsh real world on EV database.
It's harsh. 375 miles real world. That's
really... but EV database I find harsh, because I get much more than that.
I think they're generous.
I'm not going to ask how you're driving, but
yeah. Given ID7 is MEB, which is their platform, have they reached the limits now for the battery size before they move on to the A6KN platform? I think they've reached more than that limit, mate. But maybe they have. Maybe they just need to be more efficient.
Battery chemistry is evolving still, isn't it? With density, it's just not as quick. It's evolving.
Sorry, my dog's knocking on the window again. The Kia PV5 looks promising, but needs more than 5 seats. Yeah, because they obviously do the. I think they are going to be doing a camper van one, aren't they? Which would be really.
But this is where payload starts to take effect, though, doesn't it? Because if you add more than 5 seats and stuff, a 7-seater, I bet you're knocking on the door of 610 kilos of payload with 2 extra people or 3 extra people. And
it's no good. It's no good for the increasing weight of Westerners, is it? I won't say people from the US, because that would be unfair. It will upset all of our US viewers if we've got any, which I think we have got a couple. Okay, so I think we've pretty much summed up all the 400-mile range vehicles. I think we must have counted about 15 there, did we? 10, 15?
Yeah. And when you think of, like, if you go back to 2015 when I started this EV journey, there were 3 electric cars. There was the iMeave, the Leaf, and the Zoe.
Are you having the moment of, in my day?
Well, I mean, what was your first EV, Tim?
Tesla Model 3. Oh, no.
Exactly. See,
it was. Yeah, Tesla Model 3. And then I had a Skoda Enyaq for a day. And yeah, well, I've had an electric car that doesn't work for about 4 years with a very slow. It's been diesel power recently. If anyone's watched the video, if you're not, go and check out, see what's happening with the Tesla powered TVR. I've been blessed really in terms of buying the right car in the first place.
Yeah, you've not been there with the bad old days of early. This is when people say, I love it when people say they were an early adopter 3 years ago, and it's like 2015 was an early adopter, and it was hard then. There was no infrastructure, and like if one of those chargers broke.
So you okay. I was thinking. Go on, sorry, you go, mate. You go.
Yeah, you've never experienced the old DBT chargers that Ecotricity put in their original highway. They're the original electric highway before it was a grid serve one. DBT chargers. If you use CCS on them, some people used to say it's for don't bother trying.
Well, I was thinking about madly just try and find the cheapest electric car I could and then running it for a while. But I couldn't say I bought the cheapest electric car because I think or I bought the cheapest of something car because I think that tag's been done for a long time. So maybe it will be I go back in time with an electric car, perhaps. If anybody's got any ideas or anybody that knows someone with a cheap electric car for less than £1,000 that they want to get rid of, because that would be fun because it'd be a video about me potentially picking it up from somewhere like, I don't know, Manchester and taking at least 48 hours to drive it back home, which could be funny in itself, right?
Yeah, the problem's going to be is lots of those early cars that are cheap are going to be CHAdeMO rather than CCS. So you might need someone to throw in apparently there is a CHAdeMO to CCS adapter.
Well, I did actually see that there was a Renault Fluence available recently, and it didn't say that it was broken. But most of the let's see what the cheapest electric car on Auto Trader is right now.
Yeah, you do realise the Fluence doesn't even have DC charging.
Yep, yes I do.
It was designed for battery swap, wasn't it?
It's still on there because the cheapest one is Nissan Leaf. It doesn't work, but there we go. Fluence, 72,000 miles. Don't purchase it before me if I decide to. 72,000 miles, £1,000. How about that? They're a bit different. I think that with a massive BGW, big gay wing, with some wheels, just go absolute chavtastic, max power the hell out of it. That would be quite an interesting build. I don't think my wife would appreciate that as a Christmas present. But what do you think? Renault Fluence, max power edition, top range. It's probably got 40, 50 miles range. Could use it.
They did have early chemistry as well, didn't they?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure haven't they got battery cooling?
I think they've got battery replacement, haven't they? Because it was designed to drop the battery out. Was it a Better Place designed the battery to drop it out in really quickly and replace it?
This is sounding more and more like a great idea. I wonder where it is.
I wonder if you could drop it out and find someone to replace it with more modern cells.
Oh, fantastic. It's in Luton as well. Me and Paul Compton, the original EV guru, could help me pick it up because he's in Luton. He could inspect it with me. I bet he knows all about them. This is too good to be true. I wish I'd not mentioned online because I'm sure everyone is rushing to go to Auto Trader and picking up what a bargain that Fluence is. Probably not. Let's just hit through the comments because I think we can draw into an end now. So the poor old Leaf has just turned up a day late and $1 short. If only it had arrived in 2018, it would have been a decent car. It's a shame the EV world moved on so quickly. Good point. Or an AC Zoe. Yeah, I don't know. I just like the idea of a Renault Fluence a little bit more than a Zoe. Early 22 kilowatt Zoes are cheap, but AC only. May need a week off to get it home. Yeah, plus it might have...
Has it got a 7 kilowatt onboard charger on the Fluence, or is it only a 3?
Well, we'll have to go on EV database to find out, won't we? Let's have a look. EV database.
If it's only a 3 kilowatt charger, you might take a month to get it home from John O'Groats to Land's End. It'll only take you a month.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would still have a wife left if that. It's such a classic car, classic EV. It doesn't look like it's on EV database. It's a bit. No, it has got. No, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. I'll come back with everyone, unless anybody else knows. My first EV, brand new Nissan Leaf, 2013. Wow, one with the black interior. Then
proper early adopter. Then I was 2015. That is really early adopter.
We got some proper adopters on here. Fluence had a battery vertically mounted behind the rear seat. Really?
Yeah, so you could drop it out vertically.
Right. Okay. So was there like a literally firewall at the?
But it didn't. I was going to say it didn't have that much energy for thermal runaway, did it? Really though.
No, we'll have to find out. Oh no, Marcus spoiled it. 3.7 kilowatt AC on the Fluence.
It's not a very big battery though.
Only
22.
Oh yeah, I suppose it will be tiny, won't it?
So it won't take long to charge at 3.7 because there's not much of it.
Well, if it's a 22 kilowatt hour battery, and let's say for argument's sake, it's still got 15. Was it 22 kilowatt usable on the Renault Zoe?
Yeah, 24 actual, wasn't it?
We'll say let's say it's got 15 kilowatt hours left of that usable battery, and it's 3 miles per kilowatt. Just saying, that's was it 3, 30, 20, 45 miles. If he tops up the battery, I'll be able to get home from Luton from there.
And you could make it, see if you could improve the range, put those things on the back wheels, those covers like the, and then ruin it with your massive spoiler.
Yeah, maybe I should go, instead of max power, I should go for min power.
Yeah, see what you can do. Tape on the shut lines.
This could, right. I'm going on Instagram. I'm going to start it now. Min power. It's the new. But could you roll that into something to do with efficiency as well?
I reckon you could lose a lot of weight from that Fluence.
Yeah.
I mean, now the TVR's gone like out your garage, you've got places to store all the stuff you take off the Fluence.
This is true. It was never in the garage, mate. It was getting a bit soggy in the driveway. But it's in a new garage. And Russ, if anyone doesn't know the story, Russ is helping with the TVR now, along with Dimitri. And yeah, looking forward to giving people updates and myself on that as well, after lots of calamities on that one. Right, I think we better wrap this up. Just as usual, what we like to do is tell people what's happening, what's going on. What have I been doing? I've been playing around with Rusty with some daytime running light upgrades, which one of them flew off when I took it for its first drive, so that was a bit of a calamity. And yeah, just been working hard and having some family time. But this week, what's up to? I need to get another video out this week, and I don't know what it is yet. So it might actually be me going by a Fluence in the evening, in the dark, in Luton. Sounds scary, doesn't it? Sounds like a good vid. Kev, what are you up to?
So this week I'm going to the Tigo 9 launch. So that's one of the big batteried Chinese SUVs. So it's a 90 again.
I thought that's a Volkswagen. Tegan.
No, Tigo or Tigo. It's the Cherry brand.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a 7-seater SUV, but it's one of the ones with the big 38 kilowatt hour packs, a 90-mile range plug-in hybrid with CCS charging up to 70 kilowatts. So basically think of it like a 7-seater Remoda 9, because it's the same hybrid system that because Cherry own a Moda and Jaiku, don't they?
I've just had an idea. I think maybe I could turn the Renault Fluence into a Rex and just have like a Jenny in the boot.
It doesn't need to be that good a Jenny for 3.7, does it?
Exactly. So yeah, just a cheeky Jenny, or maybe some battery packs in the back. This is starting to sound like a really good idea. I think I'd have to.
KC said he'll buy the broken leaf if you buy the Fluence.
For a challenge, what's going to be the challenge? I don't see a challenge there, because I won't be able to get up to you and you won't be able to come up down to me, mate. So I'm not sure how that will work, but okay. Well, Kev, thank you for joining us, and everyone, thank you very much for commenting tonight, and we'll see everyone for next week. And it sounds like we might be talking about Octopus's go or not to go, as the case may be, next week. But thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you